Hey everybody, happy Pride. We are starting Pride Month off during some strange and challenging times, but we're going to have a great conversation today with Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. He's been on the show before. One of the things that I do want to let everyone know that we're going to talk about some challenging subjects, especially for the LGBTQIA plus community. Take care of yourself, find your joy. One thing that I want to share with you as we see some of the resources for crisis outreach for the LGBTQIA plus in particular community, some of those are being removed possibly this year. So just know that there's always the Trevor Project, the trevorproject.org. You can call them at 866-488-7386. And you can also text them at 678-678. So those are some resources for LGBTQIA plus folks who are feeling just overwhelmed. And these are hard times. Take care of yourself. Know that you matter. Know that you are valued. Try to find some joy. Celebrate Pride this month and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I hope you enjoy the show today.
The world is a lot right now. Are you feeling it? We all need new tools to help us walk through the chaos with grace, ease, and compassion for each other and for ourselves. In this podcast, you'll hear from parents, educators, and other experts who can bring perspective to the monumental job of parenting. It's time to level up and be warriors for our kids and our communities. This is the Warrior Parent Podcast. I'm Marci Mitchell.
And I'm Debbie DeMano. As parents, we understand that it really does take a village to raise our kids. We hope that this podcast serves to create and support that community for you. Join us as we discuss and practice our core tools, which are proven mind-body techniques that can be used by anyone to improve your life on a daily basis.
Welcome back to the Warrior Parent Podcast. I'm so grateful that you're joining me today. My partner in crime today is off in Maui with her family, having a wonderful time. But I am very blessed to be here and be bringing back Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, who has been on the show before. He jumped in when I lost someone who got ill and wasn't able to show up today. So I really appreciate him being so flexible. He's a perfect guest because it is Pride Month. We have just stepped into Pride Month, whether the current administration wants to recognize it officially or not. Pride is Pride, and this is Pride Month. So we're going to celebrate, but we're also going to talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on. So let me just give you a little introduction about Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. In addition to his work as a minister and a teacher of spiritual principles, he is a teacher of workshops, classes on various subjects related to empowered living, self-love, new thought spirituality, LGBTQIA plus issues, communication, holistic health, wellness, American Sign Language, and acting, which is a huge repertoire of really wonderful and interesting and rich, deep, juicy stuff that I love to you'll see it. It comes out, shines through in his amazing personality and his light, which is just shining so brightly. So grateful for him. And he's currently still the spiritual director for the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, which is a virtual center that is located in Delaware, but being virtual available to everyone. So thank you so much for being here, Reverend Dr. Ray.
My pleasure. Absolutely honored and beyond grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. As I said, thank you for being flexible, stepping in at the last moment. Again, you're a perfect guest for this month because we want to celebrate. We want to be joyful. We want to celebrate Pride in all the ways. And yet we must look at all these things that are happening and talk about them and figure out how we show up for people, whether we're showing up as an ally or just a warrior or however it is. How do we show up? And also, how do we take care of ourselves? So why don't you start, maybe just kind of give me a little bit of your thoughts about what is going on right now.
Oh,
right?
What a question.
Just a little thing right? About, yes.
Well, okay, so the short answer from my observation and an interesting thing about me that ties into this is many, many, many years ago, I think I was in 10th grade, and In history class, we had to write something referencing Hitler and Nazi Germany. And my mind was fascinated by the concept of what would make someone even want to do this? Like, what is in the mind of the person who, for lack of a better word, is that heinous and evil in their consciousness to want
Right.
to do this?
Mhm.
So over the years, I have researched and studied and documentaries, et cetera, about the
Mm.
rise of the fall. Yeah. But the rise of what created it? What
Mhm.
turned this failed painter into one of the darkest individuals in the history of this planet?
Yeah.
And I mention that specifically because I see the same consciousness, the same manipulation, the same propaganda, the same cult-esque energy. I see
Yeah.
all of that happening right now. So
Yeah.
what do I see happening? I see the rise of another very dark era in the history of this planet right now.
Yeah. Totally.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. It is terrifying. And
Hmm.
I believe that I, like you, am a positive person. I am an optimistic person. But boy, the last few years, and I studied all of this as well. My bachelor's is in international relations and government. I remember taking these classes back, when I was in college in the 80s. And it seemed like an academic experiment. We were talking about things from the past, and how did that happen? Wow, that's crazy that happened, that people went along with that. And I never thought, never wanted to see it happening again. And yet here we are. And we've been watching it for years going, oh no, we're not going there. Oh no. And surely we're not going to elect him again after we saw it. And yet here we are. And yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like, on one hand, you want to be like, the teaching that I believe we both are in, this kind of spiritual metaphysical way of looking at it, is that, okay, step back, get curious, and that's really helpful. But where we are now, it is harder and harder to be curious and not terrified.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And you probably heard me say this before, that whether we look at the civil rights movement, the gay liberation movement, the
Mm-hmm.
women's suffragist movement, like those
Mm-hmm.
three in particular,
Right.
and we look at women couldn't vote, women were deemed as property, all of these
Uh-huh.
things, then there is a shift. And now there's, okay, black people sit at the back of the bus, et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
and then civil rights, and then, okay, there's a shift. Same thing with
Yes.
the gay liberation movement. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
why are we still seeing sexism, toxic patriarchy, racism, homomisia? Why are we seeing these things?
Yeah.
Because we failed to do the number one thing a physician tells you to do with an antibiotic. When the symptoms go away, do
Oh
not
my
stop
gosh.
taking the medication.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
stopped taking the medication. We
Mm-hmm.
jumped into the boat of, oh, it's gone. No, the virus,
No.
the infection simply went
No.
underground. It didn't go away. We didn't heal it. And now we are seeing the results
Right.
of a
Yes.
metastasized virus showing up as the cult of personality in this
Yep.
current administration.
Yeah, that rings so true, because that's exactly what it feels like. It was like this progress, this progress, this progress, and then it was like, okay, we can stop doing the work now. We're all good. And never addressing the systems, the
Yep.
systematic ways the racism was showing up, the misogyny, and of course it all comes down to this patriarchal system, which is just innately white supremacist, and power over, and this, it's all tied in with capitalism and tied in with all of these ways. And we didn't fix it. We just smeared some plaster around, and we elected a black man, and then we treated him like the worst person ever, vowed not to let him do anything, but still said, "Oh, we've cured it now." Will not elect a black woman, or a white woman for that matter. Can't quite get there yet, even when the alternative is a felon, an incompetent felon at that. So yeah, that really rings true to me because I've been asked that question a lot. Why? How?
Yeah. And I tell people, think about it, and this will land because of the theme of your podcast.
Yeah.
If there's a child, or we'll say three children, in an abusive household, and
Hmm.
they're removed from that household and put into foster care or adopted into a new family, they were in an abusive situation. Don't they need something? Because just moving them doesn't help them heal.
Right.
So, yes, get them out of this toxic
Yeah.
situation, but
Right.
also therapy or whatever
Yes.
it is that they need to address the trauma.
Yeah.
We said, oh, women can vote. Oh, now gay people, it's not seen as a mental disorder. Okay, black people aren't animals. Okay, but we never paused to say, but how do the Klansmen feel about this? And are we
Yeah.
addressing the consciousness that made them want to be Klansmen? Yes, we gave these people the right to vote. Yes, we gave these people the right to marry, but we're
Yeah.
not addressing the people who want them to not exist.
Exactly. Exactly. And
And we're
all the
seeing it.
places
Yep,
that
yep,
it's there. Yeah.
yep. So yeah, now we're reaping the harvest of those seeds in terms of who in their right mind, key phrase, who in their right mind says, hold on, Marci, let me see something. According to the FBI statistics, the rates of suicide among children is skyrocketing. Let's get rid of the LGBTQ hotline for children.
No.
Who in their right
Unreal.
mind says,
Yeah.
get rid of the funding and remove that service? But
Right.
that's where we are. And that's just the tip of
Yeah.
this iceberg.
It really is.
Removing funding for pride, parades, and events.
Yeah.
And all of the Yeah, so yes, that's precisely where we are.
Yeah.
In every avenue, schools. I mean, there was a teacher, I can't remember where she was, but she had a poster that said something to the effect of, we're all one, we're all family, we can all get
Yes.
along. Different
Everyone's
colored hands
welcome.
and
Yes.
yes, all are welcome here.
Yeah.
And she was told, no, 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 no. Take it down.
Yeah.
Get rid of it, or we'll get rid of you.
Hmm.
Wait, so you're saying all aren't welcome here?
Clearly.
Clearly.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what we have entered into, an era of it's now okay to say, no, you're not welcome here. No, you can't play these sports because I deem you to be a man.
Right.
Even though all of your biology said, but I
Right.
still see. So no, you cannot play these sports. No, you cannot do this. No, you can't marry this person. No, you can't shop here. No, 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 no.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as Pastor Nimler said so many years ago, first they came for the women, and I wasn't a woman, so then
Yeah.
they came for the gay people. Now these aren't, I'm remixing it,
Right.
but then they
No,
came for
but
the
it's
transgender people, and I'm not transgender, so I said nothing. And then they came for, and then they came for the immigrants, and then they came
right.
for, and then they came for the judges, and then they came for, and then they came for the people who spoke out about the genocide with Gaza, and then they
Yes.
came for, then they came for, then they came for me, and I looked around and I was all alone because
Yeah.
that is the harvest that we are now reaping.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't understand how it's been so obvious, in my opinion, to anyone who's paying attention, but there seems to be a huge segment of the population that, I mean, for sure, we know there's the Klansmen, there's the racists, there's the white supremacists who are all about that. But then there's also more normal type people who, not saying they don't have racist tendencies. We all have some of that we need to look at, but that seem more like, there are our families and our friends, and they're right along too. And that has been a mystifying thing for me. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have that's
There
been
are
baffling
new
me.
thought ministers
Yeah.
voted for this administration.
Yeah.
There are practitioners and chaplains in New Thought who voted for this. And
Yeah.
when I have conversations with them, some of them, the ones that
Yeah.
I know personally, and yes, there's to rewind a smidge.
Yeah.
I have an older brother, my oldest brother, in fact,
Hmm.
is a fundamentalist Christian who is Republican and voted for this current administration.
Hmm.
So yes, I'm connected with both in my family and in my community with folks.
Me
Yes.
too. Me too.
And there's the aspect of, are they evil people? No. No, they're not. Even like I've had family members who were on drugs. They were addicted to drugs and they did some very, very bad things, rob people and all
Right.
kinds of stuff. Are they evil people? No.
Yeah.
You're addicted to something and the addiction is causing you to not think rationally. My
Mm.
conversations with folks around this is they are addicted to something that they are peddling
Yeah.
that gives them the hit of, oh, we're going to make America great again. Yay. They're getting high on the thought of
Yes,
nostalgia from when bread was 15 cents a loaf. And it's a fictional idea,
of
just like
course.
the high. Yeah, you can shoot heroin and the high makes you feel good, but it's
Right.
not a real feel
Right.
good.
Right.
It's a synthetic, a fictionalized feel good that's temporary. And my conversations with them, I believe that they are exhibiting very, very similar symptoms, even in conversations when they say things that rationally make absolutely no sense. The math isn't mathing.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
how do you, okay, you know what? It's the same thing if someone is on drugs and you
Right.
try to rationalize with them and
Mhm.
the math doesn't math. It's
That
the
is
same
very
thing.
interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. I read something not too long ago that gave me just a little bit of and it's I think it's very much related to what you're saying, but it was talking about small town America, and you might have seen it. It was making the rounds on Facebook maybe a month ago, but it was talking about small town America and these ideas they were raised on, patriotism, America's the best, go to church, this idea of this traditional family, it looks like this, and then they were raised on all of this, and so no matter what, they've built their whole lives on this idea, and so it's this house of cards, and if they start to say, oh wait, maybe that isn't right, like the whole thing comes crashing down. And so it's too much, like their mentality, their brain, their whatever their self-protection is will not allow them to listen to you when you say, when you do the math, this, that, this, and that. They can't. They can only be like, no, 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 because they cannot. It's too much. It's just too much.
In the book, Creating a World That Works for All, Sharif Abdullah says in, I think it's chapter 6 or 7, somewhere in there, he
Mm,
references and says that many of these concepts, literally, people would rather die than question some of those, as you mentioned, those foundational concepts.
yes.
And the idea is, if just for the sake of conversation, I'll use Judeo-Christianity as an example,
Hmm.
because I went through this. Fundamentalist Christian, believe it or not, I was anti-gay. Wait a minute, what? Like that's what? So
Yeah.
self-hating, self-loathing, all of that stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And then I get introduced to new thought and stuff, and I start to question. And I very clearly remember hitting an actual cognitive moment of, wait a minute, if I even let this in that questions this, that means I've wasted 77 years, 42 minutes, and 13 seconds believing a lie. Oh my, and the
Yeah.
thought of having wasted time, wasted belief is terrifying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some people will cling to that no matter what.
Right. Right.
No matter
Yeah.
what. It's like that image, the meme with the one person standing here and they're looking at the image, and to this person it's a 9, to this person it's a
Right.
6. And some people will say, just come over here and look from where I'm standing. And they're like, no, I just want you to come and look. Just come and
Yeah.
look. I'm not
No.
asking you to believe anything different. Just
Yes.
look. And they're like, no.
No. Fake news. Fake news. I'm not looking at it. Yes. Yeah.
Like, oh, and it's
Yeah.
that. It's the addiction to, like, why did people follow Jim Jones?
Hmm.
Why did some of them actually drink the
Right.
concoction?
Even when by then they must have been like, what the hell are we doing? But what?
Yes,
Well, I've come this far, or I can't.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
What
very
made the Branch
interesting.
Davidians? Like,
Hmm.
at what point did you really believe that, or Paresh, at what point did you really believe he was the second coming, third coming, fourth coming of Jesus? At what
Right.
point did you buy into the concept? And we
Right.
could, like, there so many of, it's the same thing. It's a cult.
Yeah, that is very that just rings true. That idea that it's just too much. And yeah, even though some part of you is saying no, 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 turn around, go back, you've come this far, whether it's embarrassing or too much work. Like it might just feel completely exhausting to be like, oh God, maybe I've been wrong all this time. And but that's too much, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Very human, actually.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
I mean, very much. I mean, I've had many members of my family, whether it was alcohol or drugs. I've gone to, the family support thing, like children of alcoholics. So I've been there and done that. And the
Yeah.
whole idea of at what point does the person say, you know what? I've had enough of making out with the toilet bowl because I've been drunk for X amount.
Yeah.
So, hello, my name is, and we say some people have to hit rock bottom before they
Absolutely.
realize, okay, so I understand the concept, but I would rather rock bottom was what we saw happen in Hitler's Germany. That was
Yeah,
rock bottom.
sure was.
I would rather we as a country, as a planet, not have to hit rock bottom to realize, oh, there's something we need to be doing and can fix.
Yeah,
Like, how do we
for
do that
real.
now?
Yeah. Hey, we just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about something very exciting that Debbie and I and our team have been working on for literally years. And that is our Core Tools app, which is now available at the Google Play Store and at the Apple Store. And you can sign up for it now, and you will get access to all the tools we've been talking about on the podcast.
And if you're an early adopter of Core Tools, you can get a VIP price for $49 for a lifetime. That's
Lifetime.
right.
Buy it once and we'll keep
Lifetime.
updating it too.
Yes. So we're super excited about this. Go to Apple Store, go to Google Play, and purchase it now.
Core Tools, COUR, capital TOOLS.
Go get it.
Don't wait till
Yeah.
the building burns all the way down to bring out the fire hoses.
Exactly. Yeah, it comes back to me, and I didn't learn it till later in life, or at least didn't really learn it like deep in my soul, but that staying open mentality that I always want to be willing to learn something new, to see something, because the thing that I just don't want to be building my life on lies. I want to know the truth. And when I find things out, and I still find stuff out, I'm going to be 60 this year. I'm still finding things out all the time. And then I'm like, what? They never taught me that. And, I'm just trying to embrace and step into things. And some of them are great. Some of them are like, oh my God, it's been almost 10 years, but I started to see young women not shaving their armpits. And I was like, what the hell is this? I have been told that I have to shave my legs, my armpits, like all this whole life. And I was like, I felt cheated. I was like, what the hell? And stopped immediately. And it's awesome. I love it. But it's like some things you just take them and you just believe them. You're like, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And God, I would just encourage everyone to stop for a minute and say, why? Why do I do the things I do? Yeah. And why is my country doing the things it's doing? Why do we think it has to be capitalism? Why do we think that, money, that our system has to run on money? And because it doesn't. That's the truth. When you start to question it, step back a little, you're like, oh, wait a minute. 2025, and we're still building giant armies to kill each other, and way more weapons that we could kill the world, the planet, multiple times, and that's where we're putting our money. We could take a portion of that and cure hunger and end homelessness and like do these amazing things. Why don't we do it?
It's already been stated that just the top 4 wealthiest people in the country, if they were simply taxed the way everyone else is taxed, their rightful 2% or whatever,
Yeah.
it would automatically eliminate poverty in this country.
Right. That's so easy. It's such a no-brainer, but we don't do it.
We won't do it. And it's like, okay. So, and my second question to the why, like, okay, wait a minute. Why are we told to shave our armpits or legs, or why are we told to do this, or what? Like, why? My next question is, okay, how is it impacting people? So to tell a young woman This is what you're supposed to do. Okay.
Right.
That's the indoctrination. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Why am I supposed to do it? And what is it doing to me as a person?
Yeah.
Are there elements that are saying, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, but if I don't, then I'm dirty. But if I don't, no one's going to want me. But if I don't, then
Yes.
I'm not a proper young lady, or
Yes. Not worthy,
you're not.
gross, all the stuff. Yes.
So this is the message outright,
Yeah.
but this is the subliminal covert message.
Right. Yeah.
So I always ask, why and how is it impacting people?
Yes.
Why is capitalism? Okay. How is it impacting people in ways that we're not really paying attention to, which goes back to your point about being an inquisitive, curious individual, which boggles my mind that phones get upgraded quite often. Because I grew up in the era, I remember when the phone was connected to the wall. Like
Sure do.
there was
Yeah.
no other choice, right? Okay. And then telephone booths. Like I haven't seen a telephone booth in I don't know how long. I remember that. Excuse, you got a quarter, or you got a dime. I
I know.
remember
Now you
all
pull
of
your
these.
phone out and take a picture of it because it's so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember all of these evolutionary technological changes. Okay, so we've changed in all of these areas, but not in our policies and legislation, not in our governance of, not in. I guarantee that if we could jump in Mr. Peabody's Wayback Machine and go back to the founding fathers and say, okay, so I know y'all getting ready to write off because the ink's still wet, this whole Second Amendment thing. Pause for a second. I want to show you something.
Yeah.
The guns you use, okay,
Right. Yes.
right? You get one bullet
Yeah.
every 3 minutes.
Right.
A couple of 100 years from now, somebody's going to be able to pull a trigger
Yeah.
and 100 rounds.
Yeah.
But check this out. This is not going to just be for war. People are going to do this in schools. People are going to do this in churches, in movie theaters. And they're going to say, wait, what? Let's rethink this.
Yeah.
Because the consciousness that they wrote it is not the consciousness now.
No.
But we're still
Yeah.
governing now as though the consciousness is the same. So we
Yeah.
can evolve in all this stuff with phones and all these other things. But when it comes to the things that really impact lives, could
Yes.
eliminate poverty and the situation with being unhoused and veterans'
Yes.
rights and medicine and all of these things,
Right.
we're not examining that deeper.
No, we don't want to. We just say this is, we say whatever we say, and then we want to just move on. Thank you for your service. I'm going to move on, but the people I'm electing are going to vote against you and your care and against everyone's health care. And yeah, everybody should have health care. I mean, for sure, veterans should have health care, but everybody should have health care. And now we already have this horrible system that undercovers people and costs way more than it should. And they're going to pull back pieces of it so that there's even less, so that the richest, who are so ridiculously rich that they're building rockets and other nonsense, can be richer. I don't understand.
When their level of wealth is, I could spend $10,000 every minute and not get to zero in 2,000 years.
Yeah. We're
Wait,
so
say
out of balance.
what?
Yeah.
That kind of, it's obscene.
It is obscene. That's exactly what it is. It is obscene.
Yeah. It's a, for lack of a, capitalism in that manner is cancer.
Yeah.
It simply devours, because for someone to be that obscenely wealthy, someone had to suffer.
And a lot of people, so that this one person or 10 people or 50 people could have more than the billions that are left is just crazy. And I think when you stop to think about it and you say, okay, we built this system on this idea that the most important thing was money and who had the most and that you were making money. Well, if you go back to that, then you're like, would you ever base your life on that? Like, do you think that's why you came to the planet, to see how much money you can make? If not, it's an immoral system. If it's not based in morality, if it's not based in values and humanity, why do we have it? And what if we didn't? What if we didn't? And guess we can do something way better. We can just have the will to do it.
Yes. Which, in referencing, because I get a lot of pause, rewind. So I am very selective in how I curate the news, because to just take it in, Ooh, Marci,
I know. I know.
it's whoo, like there are no words to even describe
Yeah.
the onslaught of, okay, I felt in a pretty good mood, but I just watched 3 minutes of they want to get rid of habeas corpus and they want to do this. And like, I really feel like, wait a minute, I need to make a reservation for
Yeah.
heaven.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
It makes no, so I'm very
Yeah.
selective in curating, but
Yeah.
as a minister, various people will reach out to me because they're in great distress.
Hmm.
And in order for me to help them in that, I have to ask, so what's distressing you? And so
Right.
they'll bring to me, whatever's going on. Like, okay, who? So one of the things that consistently comes up is, and it goes to your point about the people that we elect. And
Mhm.
we refer to them as the people in power and those who speak up, speaking truth to power. And I
Mhm.
remind people they are not the powerful. Speak truth powerfully to
Mhm.
those who believe and those who are using pseudo power, because that's what
Mhm.
that is. That's not real
Yeah.
power, it's
Yeah.
pseudo power. They're
Mhm.
faking it and they're convincing us that they're the ones. So we abdicate, like Alice Walker said, the most potent way to get people to believe that they are powerless is to convince them that they have no power. So we
Right.
believe that they're the powerful. We elected them, yes, but they too are we the people before they were elected.
Right.
So we the people, we are the masses.
Yeah.
It's time for us to step back and say, wait. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect, a more harmonious, a more equitable union, this
Yeah.
is what we need to do. Life, liberty, and not the pursuit of happiness, but we understand what happiness truly is and that we can create the environment so that everyone can experience it rather than pursue it. I mean, I don't want to.
Right.
Why would I have to pursue happiness? That automatically says that your happiness is dependent on something external to you.
Right. And you're struggling, you're chasing it, running after
Manifest
happiness all the
destiny.
time. Yeah.
I'll be happy when I get all the
Yes.
indigenous people off the land and I can build my homestead here. I'll be happy when I get, my raise or the brass ring, and I'll
Right.
be
Or
happy
that
when I'm a
car.
millionaire. Right.
Yes.
I'll be
All
happy
the stuff.
then.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's not what makes us happy.
No.
So I'm like, I'm not pursuing happy. I am
Yeah.
choosing to be happy. And that
Yeah.
was one of the great things I love about the whole aspect of Pride Month, because Pride Month is about being your authentic self.
Yes.
Shine. If you're not going to do it any other time of the year,
Yes.
this month, let all your colors shine. Be your
Yes.
authentic, powerful
Mm.
self
Yes. Yes.
in as
Yes.
many places and ways as you can. And if it means putting on, I don't know, a thong and a tutu and a crown, and
Yeah.
that's what you want to do in some heels that you say those heels are what? Those are 10-inch. What in the world? I
I don't
would
know
have
how they walk
broken,
in the heels, but I love to see it.
right? And even that,
Yes.
the idea of seeing someone
Yes.
else, which isn't that what Marianne Williamson said in that when you shine, you give other
Yeah.
people permission to do the
Yes.
same.
Absolutely.
Them shining gives all the allies, all the co-conspirators, all of everyone the opportunity to say, wow, they're being beautiful. They're
Yes.
being themselves. How can I do that for me?
Yes.
How can I ensure that they get to do it on more than just 1 month?
Yes.
How do we come
Exactly.
together as family and as community rather than these individual silos of I'm black, you're white, I'm a man,
Right.
you're a woman, I'm gay, you're straight, I'm
Right.
trans, you're this, I'm Republican, you're
Right.
Democrat, I'm rich, you're poor.
Right.
We're people. We
We're
are
people.
human beings.
Yeah.
How do
And
we
we
come
are all
together with that?
connected. And
We are all connected.
if we don't understand that connection, then if you understand the oneness, if you understand how we are all connected, then you you can't want anything but the best for everyone. And that's because it's all of us, so we're all in this boat together. So don't think that some people, like, you can have a hole over there and that you're going to be fine. We're all together. If there's a hole in the boat over there, we're all going down, and it's going to look like this first, and the rich are going to be way up here and they're sinking, but everybody's going down. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Titanic analogy with quite a few people, quite a few.
Yes.
Or the idea of you're in an apartment building and you're on the 10th floor, like you're in the penthouse suite,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
there's a fire on the 4th floor. To think that the fire does not affect you in your
Right.
penthouse,
I paid
it's
so much for it.
idiotic.
It can't.
That's
Yeah.
idiotic.
It
To
is
believe that
idiotic.
you are actually separated from. But the
Yes.
moment you realize how many humanities are there, there's only one humanity.
Yes.
There's only one human race.
Yeah.
There's only one. And that in and of itself says, oh, which is why we have think when COVID happened, we understood, oh, because we're connected, because we have the same kinds of respiratory systems, and that's
Yeah.
how we can pass it or contract it, because we are the same.
Yeah.
If we weren't the same, then it'd be like, oh, well, I don't have lungs, so I can't get this, or I don't have, because I'm not. But the fact that we all share the same biology and anatomy says that we are one, but we don't live that way. And it goes back to what you said before about, so where I'm from, we believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, and that's all, and all this
Right.
other. But pause, because let's even explore that. Where
Mhm.
did marriage come from? Like,
Oh,
let's
God.
really go to the point of, because you realize marriage, since we're going biblical, the woman had absolutely nothing to do with that.
Right.
So you don't do marriage that way anymore.
Right.
Why not? So you can evolve and change.
Yes.
I noticed y'all had some lobster and stuff and shrimp the other day. You know, in Leviticus it says, oh, so you can
Yeah.
evolve and change.
Yes.
So why not evolve and change? You don't want to get married to a man? Don't.
Yeah.
Let them get married. They're not hurting you.
Yeah. That idea, and I did just see that also very recently, that idea that if we don't have bodily autonomy, and so that goes to who can you marry? It also goes to, are you going to have a baby or not? It goes to, are you going to have some sort of operation that affects your body? Like all of this body autonomy. If we don't have that, we got nothing. Because if someone else can tell you who you can marry, what surgery you can and can't have, what drug you can or can't have, whether you can not have a baby if you're choosing not to, or get a procedure that you want to get, then you have nothing. You have nothing if someone else can just do that for you or to you. And so why do we think that? Why do we think it's important for me to tell other people they should marry or what they should do with their bodies, or
Even to the degree where there's a young woman right now on life support in Georgia
yeah,
because she's pregnant.
yeah,
Okay, so wait a minute. Like,
yeah,
even she isn't even afforded the dignity of allowing herself to transition because the
yes.
policies say no.
And the family has no say in it, and she's basically become an incubator for a baby that, who knows, like
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of possibilities. There's going to be a lot of struggles with that baby too, which, just losing your a parent is enough. But I know it's very much, I had to stop watching Handmaid's Tale because it was too scary. It was too real when I first started watching it. And I remember reading the book back in high school, and I was like, wow, this is a crazy story. Holy shit, over
Yes.
the last 12 years, it's been worse and worse and worse. And now it's like, holy, I mean, is this where we're headed?
And I remember it was before I started watching it, I saw an interview with the author,
Uh-huh.
and the interviewer asked her a question about something to the effect of, what made you come up with this crazy idea for? And she said, crazy idea. Everything that I wrote is true. And they said, wait, what do you mean it's true? She said, every aspect of all of it. I pulled from somewhere on this planet in history and I put it all together. Everything that happened. Yeah, the
Yep.
characters and stuff aren't real,
Right.
but the concept of and the
Mm-hmm.
way the government operate, all of that stuff has already happened. That blew my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
That blew my mind. And just the idea that Serena, technically, she was the architect of this. And it came back to bite her in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. You can't treat other people that way and not have it bite you in the ass. You can't show up on the planet in a shitty way and not have it come back. That's just, whether you call it karma or,
The
cause and
effect, yeah.
effect, whatever
Mhm.
law you want to, it's happening.
Yeah.
whatever you're putting out, you're going to get
Yep.
back. So what do you
Yep.
want to put out? Yeah.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah. Wow. So, because I know pretty soon we're going to be closing up for the day.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
just as a thing to throw out to folks, one, find people who are your people. Find your community. Find those people with whom you can say, "Cool, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm there. I know I can call Marci because
Yes.
like she'll pray with me, she'll be present, whatever." Like
Mhm.
find your people. Number
Yes.
one. Number two, for me, I don't do hope as an airy fairy kind of same with happiness. Like I have to pursue hope. Or
No.
for me, I turned it into an acronym. Hope is how our power expresses. How can you get into that space of your
Yeah.
power, whatever that is? Your voice comes out in painting, paint.
Yes.
Your voice comes out in gardening, then garden. Whatever
Yeah.
that is for you that gives you that space that says, this is me. Like this is my jam. This is me. Then dive all into it. Give yourself self-care. Whatever self-care is far more than just manicures and pedicures and a massage.
Yeah.
Self-care is turn the television off if you need to.
Yes.
It's don't call, Uncle Bob if Uncle Bob is the one that's always make America great
Mhm.
again. Like, then don't
Yeah.
talk to Uncle Bob for a weekend if that's whatever it is.
Yes.
Care for you like you love yourself. Get
Yes.
into that space of whatever that is for you.
Yeah. Boundaries are great self-care.
Amen.
Yeah.
No
And
doubt.
another one that I love that you always say, and it's in my head all the time too, is just breathe. Just
Mhm.
pause, breathe.
Mhm.
Like that, because you need this right now. And when we stop and we breathe, we give ourselves a moment. We slow our nervous system down a little when we slow down the breath, but it's just a reminder that, because you can get whipped up. I can get so whipped up.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
stop and take a breath. Yeah.
Yes. And if I may,
Yeah.
I started reading this amazing book, Queering Contemplation.
Mm.
And on page 16, she says, not unlike flowers and the roots from which they emerge, contemplation and queerness are both innately blossoming and abundant materials. They
Mhm.
root us, ground us, and connect us, allowing our most authentic self to emerge and bud into existence. Contemplation and queerness are democratic in that they are for everyone.
Mhm.
Invitations into one's true self. And I believe both queerness and contemplation contain the creative, generative materials necessary to awaken our contemplative life into its innate embodiment, liberative focus, infinite possibility, and autonomous expression.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful.
Amen.
I'm not a good snapper, but
Yes.
that's awesome. That's awesome. What a beautiful way to close. And I love your good tools for people, because it's a lot for everyone right now. So do people listen to that, take that time, listen and take care of yourself. It's pretty tricky out there right now, but yeah, take care of yourself. And I would encourage everybody to support a Pride celebration. You will have a fantastic time. If your city has a Pride event, if there's a parade, go watch it. You will find joy, and that's what we need. That's why we're here. We're here for joy too. So have the joy. Thank you so much, the Reverend Dr. Raymont. It is, as always, so good to see you and talk to you. Really appreciate you. Happy Pride, everybody.
Hey, warrior moms. As we started this podcast, we had determined that part of what we were going to do is to create a community. So we have decided to take it to another level, and we have started our own Facebook community in addition to the Warrior Parent Podcast, and it's called
From Chaos to Calm, a sanctuary for moms. Here's what it looks like. It's on Facebook right now. Please go and join it. And just to let you know, we're going to create our Blue Sky accounts right now. We're getting prepared as we watch this weird stuff go on in America. So we may be shifting the whole group to Blue Sky. Just be aware that we got you. We're going to start here. If this turns out to be not a safe place anymore on Facebook, then we will shift over. But what we're creating is a safe space where moms can show up and get information, get support, talk to each other about the things you're going through with your kids, the things you went through with your kids, maybe get some advice from moms, but also other experts. We're going to invite all of our guests and experts to join the group. I hope you will too. This is a place where you can show up and be seen and be heard and be safe. Mom's got you.
Nobody trusts anyone more than moms. So let's do this.
And now for your core mental health break. This is your opportunity to take a moment to support your mental wellness, your peace of mind, your own ease and grace. Take some time every day to support your mental health. You deserve it, and it matters. Today's affirmation encourages you to look at things a different way. Something better is unfolding right now for the world. Let's say it aloud together. Something better is unfolding right now for the world. Something better is unfolding right now for the world. This is true. Thanks for listening to the Warrior Parent Podcast, which is a production of our nonprofit, Cour Experience, who also creates and distributes Cour tools. You can find us at courexperience.org. Make sure you join us next week for another informative conversation to help you and your family show up mindfully, purposefully, and joyfully with each other and in your community.
Our Core Tools platform consists of a number of proven tools and techniques that are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in spite of what's going on in your world. We want to thank Samuel Hale, LLC, for sponsoring this podcast. Technical and marketing support comes from Inspire Your Brand. Our podcast editor is Justin Beeden. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts, the producers, or the financial supporters. I'm Debbie DeMano.
And I'm Marci Mitchell. Thanks for listening. If you resonate with the idea of creating a community to help support kids and families, won't you join us by following the podcast and sharing this episode? You can even write a review. It truly does take a village, and we appreciate you.